Do you wake up after 60 feeling more tired than the day before, even though you believe you're doing everything right? You eat what you've always eaten, you follow the same routines, and yet your body feels slower, heavier, inflamed. It's frustrating because no one told you that one common daily habit could quietly drain your energy, stiffen your joints, and accelerate aging from the inside out. Doctors are now warning seniors to stop this habit immediately, not because aging is the problem, but because this behavior silently sabotages your heart, brain, and metabolism. The surprising truth is that what felt harmless for decades can suddenly become dangerous after 60. Today you'll discover exactly what to stop and why your body will thank you almost instantly. After 60, sitting for long, uninterrupted hours quietly becomes one of the most damaging habits you can keep, because your circulation is no longer as resilient as it once was. When you remain seated for extended periods, blood begins to pool in the lower part of your body, especially in your legs. This sluggish blood flow reduces oxygen delivery to your muscles, your brain, and even your heart. You may not feel it immediately, but over time it contributes to fatigue, brain fog, swollen ankles, and that heavy, stiff sensation that makes movement feel like a chore instead of a gift. The body is designed for motion. Every time your leg muscles contract, they act like a pump, helping push blood back toward the heart. But when you sit for hours, watching television, scrolling on your phone, reading, or even working at a desk, that pumping system slows down dramatically. Circulation becomes inefficient. The heart must work harder to move blood upward against gravity, and your vessels become less flexible. For someone over 60, this shift is not minor. Blood vessels naturally lose elasticity with age, and prolonged sitting accelerates that process. There is also a direct impact on the heart itself. Studies consistently show that long sedentary periods are associated with increased cardiovascular risk, even in people who exercise once a day. In other words, a 30-minute walk does not fully undo 8 to 10 hours of sitting. After 60, metabolism slows, muscle mass decreases, and insulin sensitivity declines. Sitting for long blocks worsens blood sugar control, making it easier for glucose to remain in the bloodstream instead of being used by your cells. Over time, this increases the risk of type 2 diabetes, weight gain around the abdomen, and inflammation that silently stresses the cardiovascular system. Joint stiffness is another hidden consequence. When you sit too long, the synovial fluid that lubricates your joints does not circulate properly. Knees, hips, and lower back joints become tight. This stiffness discourages movement, which then creates even more stiffness. It becomes a cycle. You sit because movement feels uncomfortable, and 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 movement feels uncomfortable. Breaking that cycle is one of the most powerful actions you can take for your mobility and independence. There is also the matter of muscle loss. After 60, the body naturally experiences sarcopenia, which is the gradual loss of muscle mass and strength. Muscles that are not used begin to shrink. Prolonged sitting accelerates this decline, particularly in the large muscles of the legs and glutes. These muscles are essential for balance, walking, climbing stairs, and preventing falls. When they weaken, stability decreases and fall risk rises. Falls are one of the leading causes of serious injury in older adults, and maintaining leg strength through frequent movement is a simple but powerful prevention strategy. Even the brain is affected. Reduced circulation means reduced oxygen delivery. Many people notice clearer thinking and improved mood after simply standing up and walking for a few minutes. Movement stimulates blood flow to the brain, supports neurotransmitter balance, and can reduce feelings of anxiety or low mood. Prolonged sitting, on the other hand, is linked with increased inflammation markers that are associated with cognitive decline over time. The solution is not extreme or complicated. You do not need intense workouts or expensive equipment. The key is frequency. Stand up every 30 to 60 minutes. Walk around your home, stretch your calves and hamstrings, roll your shoulders, do gentle heel raises while holding onto a chair. Even 2 to 5 minutes of movement is enough to reactivate circulation and signal to your body that it is still strong and capable. Over the course of a day, these small movement breaks add up to significant cardiovascular and metabolic benefits. You can also redesign your environment to encourage motion. Place the television remote farther away. Stand during phone calls. Set a timer as a reminder to move. If you enjoy watching programs in the evening, use commercial breaks as movement cues. Consistency matters more than intensity. Your body responds beautifully to gentle, repeated activation. Stopping the habit of long, uninterrupted sitting after 60 is not about becoming athletic overnight. It is about respecting how the aging body works and giving it what it needs most: circulation, muscle engagement, and steady oxygen flow. When you interrupt sedentary time regularly, you protect your heart, preserve your strength, support your brain, and maintain the independence that allows you to live fully and confidently in the years ahead. After 60, late-night eating becomes far more disruptive to your body than it was in your 30s or 40s because your metabolism no longer processes food with the same speed and flexibility. You may believe a small snack before bed is harmless, especially if you eat lightly during the day, but the truth is your body follows a circadian rhythm, an internal clock that regulates digestion, hormones, blood sugar, and repair processes. When you eat late at night, you force your system to stay in active digestion mode when it should be shifting into rest and repair mode. As you age, insulin sensitivity naturally declines. This means your cells do not respond to blood sugar as efficiently as they once did. When you consume carbohydrates or sugary snacks late in the evening, glucose remains in the bloodstream longer. Instead of being used for energy, it is more likely to be stored as fat, especially around the abdomen. Many adults over 60 struggle with stubborn belly weight, not because they eat excessively, but because the timing of their meals works against their hormonal balance. Late-night eating also interferes with the release of growth hormone and melatonin. Growth hormone plays a critical role in tissue repair, muscle maintenance, and fat metabolism. Melatonin supports deep restorative sleep. When digestion is active late into the night, these hormones are suppressed. You may still sleep, but the quality of that sleep declines. You wake up feeling unrested, even after 7 or 8 hours in bed. Over time, poor sleep contributes to fatigue, mood changes, memory issues, and increased cravings the following day. There is also a direct connection between late eating and acid reflux, which becomes more common with age. When you lie down shortly after eating, stomach acid can move upward into the esophagus more easily. This leads to heartburn, throat irritation, coughing at night, and disrupted sleep. Repeated reflux episodes can irritate the lining of the esophagus and create long-term discomfort. Simply allowing 2 to 3 hours between your last meal and bedtime significantly reduces this risk. Your liver is another organ that benefits from earlier meal timing. At night, the liver performs essential detoxification and metabolic balancing functions. If it is busy processing a late meal, especially one high in sugar or fat, its ability to regulate cholesterol and blood sugar becomes less efficient. Over time, this contributes to elevated triglycerides, fatty liver tendencies, and metabolic slowdown. Many people over 60 eat late not out of hunger, but out of habit or emotion. Evening loneliness, boredom, or routine television watching can trigger mindless snacking. The body, however, does not distinguish between emotional eating and physical hunger. It responds hormonally in the same way. Recognizing the difference between true hunger and habit is a powerful step toward metabolic balance. If you feel genuinely hungry in the evening, the solution is not starvation. It is strategic nourishment earlier in the day. Balanced meals that include adequate protein, healthy fats, and fiber help stabilize blood sugar and reduce nighttime cravings. When your daytime nutrition is consistent, your body does not demand quick energy before bed. Creating a clear kitchen close time can be transformative. Decide on a consistent evening cutoff, for example, 7 o'clock p, and treat it as a boundary that protects your sleep and metabolism. Herbal tea, warm water with lemon, or simply brushing your teeth after dinner can signal to your brain that eating for the day is complete. These small rituals reinforce discipline without feeling restrictive. Over time, stopping late-night eating resets hunger hormones like ghrelin and leptin. Morning appetite improves, energy stabilizes, and cravings decrease. Many people notice reduced bloating, better sleep depth, and gradual sustainable weight loss without extreme dieting. Blood sugar readings often improve and inflammation markers begin to decrease. After 60, your body values rhythm more than volume. It responds best to predictable patterns that align with natural light and rest cycles. By breaking the habit of late-night eating, you allow digestion to finish earlier, hormones to rebalance overnight, and cellular repair to occur without interruption. This simple change restores metabolic efficiency, improves sleep quality, supports healthy weight management, and helps you wake up with steady energy instead of sluggishness. After 60, excessive daily sugar becomes far more harmful than most people realize, because your body no longer processes glucose with the same efficiency it once did. What felt harmless for decades, a sweet dessert after dinner, sugary coffee in the morning, packaged snacks in the afternoon, can now quietly drive inflammation throughout your entire system. The aging body becomes more sensitive to blood sugar spikes, and repeated surges of glucose begin to damage blood vessels, nerves, and even brain cells over time. When you consume sugar, your blood glucose rises rapidly. In response, your pancreas releases insulin to move that sugar into your cells. But as we age, cells often become less responsive to insulin, a condition known as insulin resistance. This means glucose lingers longer in the bloodstream, triggering more insulin release. Elevated insulin levels promote fat storage, particularly around the abdomen, and increase inflammatory chemicals in the body. Chronic inflammation is not just a buzzword, it is strongly linked to heart disease, joint pain, cognitive decline, and metabolic disorders. One of the most concerning effects of excessive sugar intake after 60 is its impact on the brain. The brain relies on steady energy, not spikes and crashes. Frequent sugar highs, followed by rapid drops in blood glucose, can contribute to mood swings, irritability, fatigue, and difficulty concentrating. Over time, high blood sugar levels are associated with damage to small blood vessels that supply the brain. This reduces oxygen and nutrient delivery, potentially accelerating memory decline and increasing the risk of neurodegenerative conditions. Sugar also contributes to a process called glycation. This occurs when excess glucose binds to proteins in the body, forming harmful compounds known as advanced glycation end products. These compounds stiffen tissues, damage collagen, and accelerate visible aging of the skin. More importantly, they damage blood vessels and increase arterial stiffness, placing additional strain on the heart. After 60, when vascular flexibility is already decreasing naturally, this added stress significantly raises cardiovascular risk. Joint discomfort can also worsen with high sugar intake. Many adults notice increased stiffness or swelling after consuming sugary foods. This is because excess sugar promotes inflammatory cytokines that irritate joint tissues. For those already dealing with arthritis or reduced mobility, daily sugar consumption can intensify discomfort and limit activity levels. Another hidden danger lies in immune function. Elevated blood sugar weakens white blood cell efficiency, making it harder for your body to fight infections. As immune resilience naturally declines with age, maintaining stable blood sugar becomes even more critical for protecting overall health. What makes sugar particularly deceptive is that it hides in many processed foods under different names: corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, cane juice, and more. Even foods marketed as low-fat often contain added sugars to enhance flavor. Beverages are especially problematic. Sugary drinks deliver rapid glucose spikes without creating a sense of fullness, making it easy to consume far more sugar than intended. Reducing daily sugar intake does not mean eliminating all sweetness from your life. It means becoming intentional. Whole fruits, for example, contain fiber that slows sugar absorption and provides antioxidants that combat inflammation. The problem is not natural sugars in their whole form, but concentrated added sugars that overwhelm your metabolic system. When you begin to reduce sugar gradually, your taste buds adapt. Foods that once seemed bland begin to taste naturally sweet. Energy levels become more stable throughout the day. Afternoon crashes diminish. Sleep improves because blood sugar fluctuations no longer disrupt nighttime hormonal balance. Many people notice clearer thinking, fewer cravings, and improved mood within weeks. The body is remarkably responsive at any age. Lowering sugar intake reduces inflammatory markers, supports healthier cholesterol levels, and improves insulin sensitivity. Blood pressure may decrease as arterial stiffness improves. Even skin tone can appear brighter as glycation slows. After 60, your metabolism values stability more than stimulation. Excessive daily sugar acts as a constant stressor, pushing your hormonal and cardiovascular systems beyond their comfort zone. By intentionally reducing added sugars, you lower inflammation, protect your brain and heart, preserve joint comfort, strengthen immunity, and create steady, reliable energy that supports true vitality rather than temporary spikes followed by exhaustion. After 60, ignoring mild dehydration becomes a silent drain on your entire body because the natural thirst signal weakens with age. You may not feel thirsty, yet your cells can already be lacking the fluid they need to function properly. This subtle dehydration often goes unnoticed, but it affects energy, circulation, digestion, kidney function, and even mental clarity. Many adults assume fatigue or dizziness is simply part of aging, when in reality the body is asking for water. Water makes up a significant portion of your blood volume. When you are mildly dehydrated, blood becomes slightly thicker, forcing your heart to work harder to circulate it. This added strain can contribute to increased heart rate, lightheadedness when standing, and feelings of weakness. For someone over 60 whose cardiovascular system may already be under pressure, even small reductions in hydration can amplify discomfort and fatigue. The kidneys are particularly sensitive to hydration levels. Their primary role is to filter waste products from the bloodstream and maintain electrolyte balance. When fluid intake is low, the kidneys must concentrate urine more intensely to conserve water. Over time, this increases the risk of kidney stones and urinary tract infections. Concentrated urine can also irritate the bladder, leading to urgency and discomfort. Adequate hydration keeps urine diluted, reduces bacterial growth risk, and supports smoother kidney function. Brain performance is another area deeply affected by hydration. Even mild dehydration can impair attention, memory, and mood stability. You may notice brain fog, headaches, or irritability without recognizing that fluid intake is the cause. The brain depends on proper electrolyte balance and steady blood flow. When hydration drops, oxygen and nutrient delivery becomes less efficient. After 60, maintaining mental sharpness is a priority, and something as simple as consistent water intake plays a meaningful role. Digestive health also relies heavily on hydration. Water helps break down food, absorb nutrients, and keep stool soft. Inadequate fluid intake is a common contributor to constipation in older adults. Straining during bowel movements increases abdominal pressure and can worsen hemorrhoids or contribute to other complications. Increasing water intake often improves regularity naturally without relying solely on laxatives. Joint comfort depends on hydration as well. Cartilage contains a high percentage of water which helps cushion joints and reduce friction during movement. When the body is dehydrated, joint lubrication decreases, potentially intensifying stiffness and discomfort. For individuals already managing arthritis or reduced mobility, staying hydrated supports smoother, more comfortable motion. Skin integrity changes with hydration status too. Dehydrated skin may appear dull, dry, and less elastic. While aging naturally reduces collagen, adequate water intake supports circulation to the skin and helps maintain a healthier appearance. More importantly, well-hydrated skin is less prone to cracking, which reduces infection risk. One reason dehydration becomes common after 60 is fear of nighttime urination. Some individuals intentionally reduce evening fluid intake to avoid waking up. While timing fluids earlier in the day is wise, drastically limiting overall intake can create more harm than benefit. Spacing hydration evenly throughout the day supports kidney efficiency without overwhelming the bladder at night. Medications also influence hydration status. Certain blood pressure medications and diuretics increase fluid loss. If you take these medications, your hydration needs may be higher. Paying attention to urine color can offer guidance. Pale yellow typically indicates adequate hydration, while dark yellow suggests the body needs more fluids. Hydration does not come only from plain water. Herbal teas, broths, and water-rich foods like cucumbers, melons, and leafy greens contribute meaningfully. However, sugary beverages and excessive caffeine can counteract benefits by increasing fluid loss or spiking blood sugar. Choosing clean, consistent fluid sources supports stability rather than stress. A simple habit of drinking a glass of water upon waking, one with each meal, and small amounts between meals can transform daily energy levels. Many people notice reduced headaches, improved concentration, fewer muscle cramps, and steadier blood pressure within days of improving hydration. After 60, your body becomes less tolerant of imbalance. Mild dehydration may seem insignificant, but it quietly affects circulation, kidney performance, digestion, joint comfort, and cognitive clarity. By consistently honoring your body's need for fluids, you protect vital organs, support metabolic processes, maintain steady energy, and strengthen the foundation of overall health in a way that feels simple yet profoundly powerful. After 60, chronic stress patterns affect your body more deeply and more quickly than they did in earlier decades. Because your nervous system becomes less resilient to constant stimulation, you may think stress is simply an emotional experience, but physiologically it triggers a cascade of hormonal responses that influence your heart, brain, immune system, and metabolism. When stress becomes daily and unrelieved, it quietly accelerates aging from the inside out. Every stressful thought activates the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight response. This releases cortisol and adrenaline into the bloodstream. In short bursts, these hormones are protective. They help you respond to danger. But when stress becomes chronic, worrying about finances, family, health, or the future, cortisol remains elevated for longer periods. After 60, prolonged cortisol exposure contributes to increased blood pressure, higher blood sugar levels, abdominal fat accumulation, and muscle breakdown. Your heart is especially sensitive to ongoing stress. Elevated cortisol and adrenaline increase heart rate and constrict blood vessels. Over time, this raises blood pressure and places strain on the cardiovascular system. Chronic stress is strongly associated with increased risk of heart disease and stroke. The aging heart does not recover from repeated stress surges as easily as it once did, making emotional regulation a critical part of heart protection. The brain also changes under persistent stress. High cortisol levels can shrink the hippocampus, a region essential for memory and learning. This is one reason chronic stress is linked to forgetfulness and reduced mental clarity. Many older adults attribute memory lapses solely to aging, yet unmanaged stress plays a powerful role. Reducing stress allows the brain to operate in a calmer, more focused state, supporting long-term cognitive health. Sleep disruption is another consequence. When your mind remains active with worry, the body struggles to enter deep restorative sleep. Cortisol should naturally decline at night, allowing melatonin to rise. Chronic stress interferes with this rhythm, leading to lighter sleep, frequent awakenings, and early morning restlessness. Poor sleep then increases cortisol further, creating a cycle that drains energy and weakens immunity.